Agrochemical giant Monsanto has been having a very bad year, to say the least, but there's no need to feel sorry for the company. All of their problems have been caused by their own greed, their own arrogance, and their own negligence. The year started off with a lawsuit being filed against Monsanto for covering up the dangers associated with the blockbuster weed killer RoundUp. Scientific studies have linked RoundUp in various forms of cancer, neurological disorder, and respiratory disease. Based on what we've seen from the company's own documents, Monsanto fully understood the dangers of RoundUp, but they continue to downplay the risk in order to sell their product by the barrel to farmers and consumers all over the world. But now, as the heat is on the company, they've begun marketing a different weed killer to people who might be concerned that RoundUp could permanently endanger their health, which it will. That weed killer is called Dicamba. Dicamba is not new. It was originally patented in 1967. It was used widely until stronger weed killers like RoundUp entered the market, and the market share for Dicamba died off. But with RoundUp gaining public attention in all the wrong ways, Dicamba is quickly becoming the go-to herbicide for people who aren't willing to risk their health by using RoundUp. This doesn't mean that Dicamba is worry-free, and in fact, some experts are now warning that Dicamba may prove to be more toxic than RoundUp as studies continue. The main problem is that, as of right now, the only long-term studies that have been conducted have all been carried out by Monsanto. It's their game. They're determining what's a good study and what's not a good study. Only them. Dicamba's main ingredient is benzoic acid. And so when sensitive areas of the body are exposed, like lungs and nasal cavities and eyes, severe burns can occur. Dicamba is considered to be moderately toxic by ingestion and slightly toxic by inhalation or dermal exposure. Symptoms of poisoning include loss of appetite, vomiting, muscle weakness, slowed heart rate, shortness of breath, central nervous system effects, and the list goes on and on. In addition to these symptoms, inhalation can cause irritation of the linings of the nasal passages and the lungs and complete loss of your voice. That's the early signs. If the chemical agent gets into the eyes, it can cause permanent damage, leading to partial or total loss of vision. Tests in some lab animals revealed damage to reproductive organs, low birth rate, and even loss of the pregnancy. Unlike other herbicides like RoundUp, which moves through the air the same way water does, Dicamba has a volatility or tendency to vaporize. This causes it to move through the air and drift into other fields around it, increasing areas of exposure, sometimes for miles beyond where the chemical was actually sprayed. The more we learn about Dicamba, the more worrisome this product becomes. And since Monsanto insists on pushing this chemical all over the planet, we need to be aware of just how toxic it can be, both for field workers and consumers. And we need to remember the history of this company, Monsanto, and we need to be very aware of the fact that right now they control all the science, they control what's happening with this herbicide.